Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 10 preview between the Seattle Seahawks and the Atlanta Falcons. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Seahawks. Offensively, a lot of Seattle's issues can be traced to the offensive line having problems in pass protection. I believe formation can alleviate some of that pressure off the protection without losing their identity. And I go with more of an A set versus the Falcons. That's a double tight end set where you're equal and balanced to both sides, and it allows you a pseudo help blocker next to both offensive tackles. Defensively, it's the tale of two ends. On one end, the Hawks are having problems versus the run, and on the other end, they're doing a great job in getting to the quarterback. Middle ground is what you're looking for a defense, and this week versus Atlanta, the second and third level defenders are going to have to be key. The Falcons will be getting back Roddy White, so I'd expect to see them work more intermediate in the passing game, which puts a lot of strain on your linebackers and defensive backs. Now let's move over to Atlanta in this ball game. The Falcons, more in particular, Steven Jackson and Jaquiz Rodgers, have to be licking their chops as they see a run defense in Seattle that has shown a lot of leakage so far this season. That's why it's also important for that Falcon interior offensive line to win those individual battles up front this week if the Falcons are able to strike some balance offensively. With that running game, I believe Matt Ryan will have much more time in the pocket off of play action to make better decisions with the football. Defensively, I look at the Falcons' linebacking core being key. This is where the Seahawks look to take advantage. They want to reach your defensive ends and either use a tight end or a fullback to climb to the second level and take out the linebackers. That's why it's important for the Falcon LBs to get great run fits, maintain gap discipline, and play contained defense versus Russell Wilson, so that way those alley defenders and those spill defenders can make plays versus the run. Facing an offensive line in the Seattle Seahawks, the Atlanta Falcons know they can get aggressive in their pressure packages, which is why I believe the Seahawks are in prime position to run a middle screen or a jailbreak screen to get the football in Golden Tate's hands and take advantage of his run after the catch abilities. I'm going to show you how they can get that done. Out of the trips formation shotgun set, we're going to show you how they can get the football to Golden Tate, who's going to be in the middle of the trips. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to get the football here to have him break free where it looks like, again, a jailbreak, or have it resemble a punt return where he just have to make guys miss in space. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the inside guy on the side of the trips go up and block the strong safety. Wide receiver is going to block the corner. Wide receiver on the backside is blocking the corner. We're going to have the tackle fan protect, trying to influence this defensive end to come upfield so he can kick him out, so that creates the room for Golden Tate. Everyone takes a step back, going up, zone blocking, zone, and we're going to have him zone as well, but we're going to send it back up to block the backer. Why? Because we're sending Golden Tate here. Russell Wilson should drift back, drop the football off right there, and Tate should be able to run the daylight and make the free safety miss. So that's how they can take an advantage. That's how they can take advantage of an over-aggressive defensive front of the Atlanta Falcons, and also help out that offensive line, which is now struggling to protect Wilson back there in the pocket. The one play the Atlanta Falcons defense will see a lot this week versus Seattle will be the stretch run. Now, the goal of the stretch is for everyone on that defense to get reached. That's why it's important for the Falcons to not be able to get reached and make a play at or behind the line of scrimmage. Every offensive lineman is trying to reach block everybody on the stretch play. And what you want up front, you want this defense, you want your backside defender to play for the cutback, and you want your will linebacker to slow play as well for the cutback. So he's going to slow play the run. Why? Because you don't want this guy to stop here and cut it back across the field. So the stretch is designed to go this way. You want to protect yourself on the back end with your will linebacker and your defensive end. He's going to slow play and crash down the line of scrimmage. He's going to slow play for the cutback. You want this defensive tackle to try to push through this inside shoulder of the center, try to get that penetration to belly this thing back into the backfield. Now you have defensive tackle trying to force his way downhill. Defensive end can't get reached. He has to win outside on the tackle. You have the sandbacker as well, has to beat that tackle block. The defensive end has to find a way to not get reached. You want your middle linebacker to make the play. Actually, you want to create that void here where the backer can make the play. Sometimes he's going to make it, sometimes he's not. You can't get mad at him. If he sees a gap, he has to shoot it to try to disrupt what's going on in the backfield, because you cannot give up the edge on the stretch play. And if they can do that, they can have a great chance of knocking off Seattle. Because again, they're going to see this stretch play a lot. They're going to see a weak side. They're going to see a strong side. If they don't allow themselves to get reached defensively, they can slow down this running game. The X factor in this game for Seattle will be that run defense. If they can slow down what the Falcons want to do on the ground and make this a one-dimensional matchup where they have Matt Ryan dropping back in the pocket more often than they want to, the Seahawks can definitely win this ball game. And the X factor for the Falcons, again, will be that interior offensive line. If they can win up front, I have full confidence that they can run the football with those two outstanding tailbacks in Steven Jackson and Jaquiz Rodgers. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For Seattle, you want to utilize formations to help out with the protection, like I've mentioned before. Double tight end sets, those ace sets, condensed sets where you're running out of the bunch. But I would stay away from a spread formation. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself having the same issues this week that you've had all season long. And I would play off man versus the Falcon wide receivers. You want to get pressure up front and have your secondary react to the ball. I think they can do a great job in picking off passes versus Matt Ryan. And I would clean up the sloppy play. You have to. Execution must improve in order for Seattle to move forward in this ball game. And for the Falcons in this game, you have to stay grounded. I know Falcons want to fly by nature, but this week running the football could lead to victory versus Seattle. And it has to be death by 1,000 cuts. The quick passing game neutralizes the pressure and also lulls those guys to sleep out there on the corners. And also the linebackers have to win versus the power game. We talked about this before. The Seahawks love to run power, outside zone. They love to run the stretch play. Those linebackers have to be immediate impact type factors versus the running game early in order to have success. I like Seattle in this ball game. They will be able to run the football versus Atlanta, and I do believe their offensive line will look a lot better versus a defense that has issues in getting to the quarterback. And on defense, you look at what they can do well. Get to the quarterback and frustrate a passing game because of their corners and safeties, and I think that's why they go on the road and knock off Atlanta. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Seahawk fan forums and Falcon fan forums for always showing football game plan support.